Dojyo. And well, before I will introduce our kind speaking guest, I'd like to let you know that the small rules of this meeting. As I sent you the email, first of all, let me introduce Andrew, who is a founder and president of Jet Communications, who have the office, in Kurume and Nishijin. Raise your hand. Andrew. He's a Canadian, and he came to. He came to Japan about 20 years ago, am I right? 20 years ago he came to Japan. And his languages, English, native, Japanese, fluent, French, conversational. You can talk to him in French.
A little rough. A little rough.
And then he extensively traveled a lot in South America. He will be talking about it later on, such as Guatemala, Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and other places. And he came to Japan back in 1999, married to a Japanese beautiful lady down here. And then he opened up his language school called Jet Communications, as I said, in Kurume and also Nishijin. And then, interestingly enough, he purchased Pizza House, the Boston Pizza franchises in Vancouver. And he recently bought a second Pizza House in Canada too. So he runs a language school, also he is the owner of the Pizza House in Canada. Then this is a small introduction about Andrew. He's from Canada. And our next speaker is, Joel. Joel. Hello. He is an English instructor at Jet Communications. His major was a language, linguistics. He got the bachelor's degree in the area of Japanese linguistics. Now he is learning at a Portsmouth University by remote learning in the area of, Japanese English translation by remote learning. And by doing so, he's also teaching English to Japanese people at Jet Communications. So Andrew and Joel will be talking about their life, such as what brought them come to Fukuoka. Why did you come to Fukuoka? Why did you come to Japan? And what is your school is all about? And what is the difference between the Japanese English speaker and other countries' English speakers? Are they the same trend to learn English, or are there something different? That kind of thing they will be talking about. As I said, these two gentlemen are very amiable, 話しやすい人, very amiable person to talk to. So I'm sure they're going to give you a wonderful presentation. With that, I'd like to introduce Andrew and Joel, please. Okay, Joel comes first.
Hello. Hello. Suddenly got really hot. Are you guys hot? No? Okay, so I've hosted these kinds of events before, but I've never spoken as a speaker at them. So I might be a little bit nervous, and this presentation might not be very interesting. But just bear with me, okay? Please listen carefully. Okay, so the topic of my presentation, is this too noisy? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Is turning Fukuoka into an international city. I'm going to start just by introducing myself a little bit. I'm going to do this air click, which is like magic, which will change the slide. Look at that, amazing. Okay, so translation mistakes. No, this is the kind of thing for the presentation. We'll click again. Okay, so this is not the real Santa Claus. Just in case you guys were confused. This is me dressed up as Santa Claus for a children's event, which I did this year. And the children didn't realize that I wasn't Santa Claus. Quite impressive. I was born in England in 1986, and as Sam said before, I studied Japanese at university. That kind of what they call that.
What are the games?
Yeah, what's it called when they...
They won last year.
What did they win? Way! So, let me change that. It will host the 2021 Fighter Games. That's great. So there's going to be a lot of people coming for these main events. Okay, there are other events at the moment. I can't remember them, but... Okay, so finally, a few solutions. What can we do to fix these problems? And this is a little bit difficult to read, but first of all, don't be afraid to tell people when you see problems. Hey, this is a mistake, that's strange. If you don't tell people, they don't learn. So people with higher level English should be helping the people with lower level English to tell them the problems. And if you know the problem, then you won't make the same problem again. We need to change the way that people think about translation. It shouldn't be, oh, my friend speaks English, he can translate it. It should be, I need to find someone who can translate this professionally, and I'm going to pay a little bit of money to do it. This is an interesting idea, but in Korea, I think it was Seoul, recently, they had a competition to find translation errors and to tell the government. And the person who found the most errors got a prize. So a little competition in Fukuoka might be a good idea. I think everyone would be running to find the signs. This is also happening, but as you know, Japan is really putting more effort into studying English. So improving language education. They raised the number of English classes in schools recently, and they're really trying to push English education, which is very good. The last thing is using a little bit of money to help correct the signs. This is another thing. People don't want to use money to translate English because their friend can do it for free, or their friend can do it for very cheap, which isn't always very good. So that's another thing. Go ahead. This is the big three, cost, time and quality. If you want high quality, then you have to pay a little bit more money, or you have to take a little bit more time. If you reduce the cost, the quality goes down. If you reduce the time, the quality goes down. So these are three very important points for making a good translation and for making things very, I guess, professional. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation, but I don't know if you noticed, there were 10 mistakes in the slideshow. Did you notice them? This is a really good idea, because if I accidentally made mistakes, then I can say, oh yeah, it's on purpose. But there were intentional spelling mistakes, just to see if you noticed any. Did anyone notice a few? No. Oh, great, very good, easier, perfect. Anything else? That's it. Something? No? To check English, you have to be very, very careful, and you have to look at stuff. So, in the future, and from now on, when you're walking around Fukuoka and you see a strange sign, go to the shop assistant and say, excuse me, your English is very strange. Okay? Let's do our best. Alright, thank you very much.
Hello everybody, it's very nice to be here today. I'm a little more nervous in front of large crowds than Joel is, so I got some papers with me. I'm going to be burying my face in this. I'm sorry about that, but I'll give it my best shot here. So, once again, my name is Andrew Hamilton, and I'm the owner and founder of Jet Communications Language Services. now in our 15th year of business in Kurume, and our 3rd year in Nishijin, Fukuoka. Oh, sorry. It's an honor to be here today, speaking before such a distinguished group, and as yourselves, and at the same time in the presence of such good wine. That's a very nice thing right now. And I'd like to begin by giving my sincere thanks to Mr. Osamu Takashima and Mr. Tetsuaki Miura, and also Ms. Ayaka Matsuo, who we met with a couple days ago, and they got us prepped for this event. So thank you very much for that. Now today I'd like to share with you a little about my background and talk about what brought me here to Japan, this amazing country that has become my home since I made the move here about 20 years ago, back in the winter of 1999. Actually got out here on February 10th, 1999, still remember the day, very cold. The last 20 years have flown by so quickly, and it always surprises me just how quickly my time spent in Japan is getting nearer and nearer, and to equal the amount of time I actually spent living in Japan and living in Canada. I lived there from the time I was born until I was 26 years old, and part of. Currently in Kurume, we are looking after more than 300 students who are in-house, and also take care of numerous off-site businesses, hospitals, and kindergarten programs. Since the Nishijin school started a little over 2 years ago, our student base has been steadily climbing, but we still have a ways to go to reach the levels we have attained in Kurume. That's the next challenge right now. These are some pictures of some of the beginnings of jet communications and some of the first teachers and some of the staff. A little younger back here. We did, from the beginning, we did adult classes as well as kids classes. This is a picture of the lounge at Nishijin Jet. I really believe that having a comfortable place to work and a comfortable place to study is really important to get anything done well. So we try to build our schools fashionably and comfortable and use decent furniture and make it a place that people want to be at. This is some more of the classrooms in the Nishijin school. Again, we try to keep things varied, give people a bit of a chance to change the environment. So we have the bar room, which is incredibly popular, especially with kids, surprisingly. Everybody always thinks it's the adults' room, but when you give the kids a chance, give a kid a choice, they tend to choose the bar room, which is kind of strange. We have the global room, which is we have the map on the wall here, and the light room. We use a lot of technology in the school. I create all the material. All the material for jet communications is created by me. We use computers and iPads in the school, and we try to help our students not only become good at English, but also a little tech savvy. Now, as jet communication has matured into the company it is today, we have begun to diversify our interests. 2 years ago, we started our summer camps program, which was attended by students as far away as Tokyo. This is got a picture here of Joel and myself in combat mode, and all of our warriors here getting ready for the big battle down by the river. All the food was made. I think actually my wife Rie was heading the team, and actually Yuki, who was standing beside her, was also very integral in making this all work out and made sure everybody had a lot of fun. But the summer camps are fantastic. We're going into our 3rd year this year of summer camps, and each year we keep getting more and more people, so we're hoping that that trend will continue. Now, after the summer camps, we decided to try to take things a bit further, and with the help of Yoichi Nozaki, we also managed to launch our overseas project, starting with a 10-day study abroad program in Vancouver, British Columbia in 2017. Through a partnership with Mr. Nozaki and his company Milestones, we have been working with Eurocenter, a language school based out of England, with schools in 16 countries around the world, including Canada, Australia, New Zealand, France, and even here in Japan. This is a picture of the Vancouver skyline, and this is a picture of Vancouver itself. It's a beautiful city, amazing scenery, mountains in the background, beaches all around. Stanley Park, a huge forested area right off the side of the city, which is enjoyed by thousands of people every day. It's you can do a loop all the way around the outside on a bicycle or walk. Very, very popular. It's about 8.5 kilometers long, and a definite must-do if you're in Vancouver. Eurocenter was, we hooked up with Eurocenter about 2 years ago, and has been a fantastic, we've made a fantastic partnership with them. They did a very good job of looking after our students. Class sizes there are relatively small, only about 11 people. They have lots of different levels. Although they're mainly an adult school, they deal with high school students and adults. They were very, very accommodating, as we mainly brought over children. And most of our children were in elementary school and junior high school, but they managed to build a program just for us. They tailored it to our needs, and that was fantastic. The location of Eurocenter is right in the heart of Vancouver. It's in a fantastic location. Everything is within walking distance. You can see all the major sites. So it's a great spot to go check out, and I hope that Jet Communications and Eurocenter will continue working together in the future. Here's some of their facilities, and most of the students that we took over to Canada chose to stay in homestays. A few people stayed in hotels, but most of our people stayed in homestays. The homestays were wonderful. The people in Vancouver were very accommodating, looked after our people very, very well. The homes in Vancouver are amazing, with the average price of real estate in Vancouver being about $2 million. You know, right? yeah, it's crazy. It's a tough place. You need a lot of money to be there. But average homes go for about $2 million in Vancouver, and if you get up into the west side, they go for more about $3.5 million. So I think Nozaki had the pleasure of staying in a house in North Vancouver. Probably would have been in the multi-million range. Yeah. Now every day the students woke up in the morning, had breakfast with the homestay family, were given a lunch to take with them to school, and then came back home at nighttime and enjoyed a nice hot meal with the family as well. The transportation system in Vancouver is amazing, excellent. I always feel very, very happy, very comfortable bringing my students over to Vancouver and Canada itself. Canada is one of the safest countries in the world. Very easy to get around. People are friendly, people are helpful. You can be very assured that you will be looked after well. And we're getting to the close here. After the school programs, they had classes in the morning from usually about 9 o'clock in the morning to about 12 o'clock, 12:30 in the afternoon. And then after that, there were excursions out into Vancouver proper, and lots of fun things to do. And one of the first things, can you give me another clip there? One of the first things was going on the cycling trip around Stanley Park. The park again is lined with about 8.5 kilometers of trails on the outside, and there are both bike trails and walking trails, so you don't have to worry about bumping into each other. Although if you stop in the middle of the trails, people get a little annoyed, so don't do that. And lots of beautiful views. Now the next thing we did with our students, we took them off to Gastown, which is a bit of a shopping district, and a lot of restaurants and pubs, and some very, very nice microbrews. Right now Japan is really getting into all the microbrews, if you're into beer, great place to go. Okay. Next one. After that, we all were off to the Granville Market. Beautiful place, lots of great food. Delicatessens, bakeries, ice cream, coffee shops, restaurants, and again, the Granville Island Brewery, which is another great place if you like a beer or two. Okay. After spending some time in Granville Market, we took the kids on a bit of a walk around. Again, very scenic Vancouver, beautiful weather. If you're lucky this time of year, the temperatures are really not that bad. And finally, we took the kids off to the Science Center. And this Science Center is amazing. It's huge. You can spend a good 3-4 hours and get lost in all the little corridors and back alleys and all the different rooms. There are dinosaurs, there's all kinds of electronics, there's mazes and all kinds of amazing things. And they do presentations, I think, on the hour, every hour, teaching kids about a little science. Now, this is my hometown of Victoria, the sightseeing Switcher Lakes for some weekend sightseeing. Below here we have the Empress Hotel, Fisherman's Wharf, and the Parliament buildings. The first year we went out to Canada, we didn't really get a chance to go out to Victoria, unfortunately. But this last time, we just actually got back. Nozaki-san and Yuki and myself, we all spent from March 23rd until April 1st over in Canada. And we did manage to get to Victoria this time. And while we were over there, we managed to get to my pizza restaurant, Boston Pizza. We all had lunch together. You know Boston Pizza, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, we all went to Boston Pizza and had some lunch together, and it was great. Now, and the final thing, if you go to Vancouver and you have a little bit of time to spare, you definitely want to go and see Whistler Blackcomb. It is one of the top ski resorts in the world, not just Canada, but the world. It is amazing. We didn't do any skiing there, we didn't do any snowboarding, but we did play in the snow, we went up to the peaks. We did lots and lots of tubing, which was a huge hit for the kids and myself as well. I think, Yuki, did you get out there? No? No, okay, no Yuki, okay. And that's going to be the end of my speech for today. I've had a pleasure talking to you guys today. I'm sorry if I got buried in my pages for a little while there, but it was very fun to have a talk with you. Thank you very much.